guys, Deathscyp here from Y.C.G, your casual gamer. So in the following two episodes, we're going to be working on this switch over here. When you interact with it, you're going to hear the button that says you need power to interact with this. And then when you jump up, I set up the platform so I can easily go up. And you interact with this, it's going to activate the light switch. That goes all the way down, and then you're going to be able to interact with the door. And if you try to interact with either of the switches, it's going to say I don't need to interact with this anymore. Mind you, you're going to need the 5 following episode done to be able to do what we're going to be recreating over here. So it's a followers only episode. And also you're going to need to get those 3 sounds that we see over here. So let's get started. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go inside the interaction blueprint over here. And we're going to create the condition so that when I get inside the level and I interact with it, it's going to say that this device needs power to be activated. And then after that, the message is going to go back to please press E to interact with. So what we're going to do is, now that we have over here our message that's going to happen, we're going to need a few variables actually. So we're going to create the show text again boolean, and also can interact with. So every time I make my programs, I always go with questions. So we're going to put these inside the components, and we're going to put this one inside its own category. And we're going to put it inside customizable. And also we're going to make one last variable and call it procedure. And let's put this one into a byte. Make sure it's editable over here and bring it inside the customizable. And that's it for the variables. That's all you're going to need over here. So now what we're going to do is, because right now I can't really interact with it. And my line trace is not designed for this. This one only shows the interaction text. But since we have our interaction in season 1, I think, the interface. No, onInteract event over here. We have in the first season, we did the onInteract event with a line trace that's going to allow us to interact with objects. So all we need to, since we already did the onInteract interface over here, we're going to go get event onInteract, like that. And this is where the program is going to take place. So the first question is going to be, is there a message being displayed over here? So we're going to do a question mark. No, sorry. So as soon as you interact with the message, you want to show the message to stop being showed. And the default values, I forgot to tell you guys about these two, is going to be checked. You want them both to be true to begin with, because at the beginning you can always interact with something unless something happens that makes it not being interactable anymore. And same thing for the message. You want the message to show at first, so you want to keep it at this. So as soon as you interact with the message is going to change. So show the message again, that means over here this event is being fired every tick. So we're going to make this like this and branch it. So that means that if it's true, show the message, the interaction message. But if it's not, then it's going to stop showing it. So this is what we want over here. Now, what we're going to do over here is we're going to create a sequencer. The first one is going to be a loop about the message going away and coming back. And the second one is going to be your condition of your procedure. Like this. You're going to drag the procedure out and equal it to 0 for starter. Branch it like this and connect the two like that. So now the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to do a do once. We're going to get player character, set interaction text to nothing. That means you're interacting with something, so we're going to set it to nothing. Then we're going to do a short delay. Whoops. Well, delay or retriggable delay both works. delay, and we're going to put it to, I don't know, 2 seconds. So you want 2 seconds to wait before it starts showing the message again. And then when the 2 seconds is done, you're going to put the message, the text, to be shown again. And then we're just going to connect the reset to this. And to make it cleaner, double click on the line for the reset over here, and here too, double click again. You're going to make a nice reroute note, and now everything's going to look clear. So this over here is going to be in charge of showing the message again. So that means if you interact with something and there's nothing going on, at least the message is going to come back and show the interaction key after. Show message again. Okay, so what I mean by this is right now, if I go inside the level, I think it's going to work. I'm going to go, and if I go inside the level right now, and I press the E key over here, the message is going to disappear, and then come back. So it's going to leave place for the procedure to take place. See what I mean? So it's going to take away the current interaction text, and that way everything works. So always do that. That way, whatever procedure you have going on is going to work. Now, it so happens that my procedure over here is going to be you don't have the power. So now I could actually just copy this over here and put it here. And this is going to be this no power event. So what we're going to do over here is we're going to make the interaction key say you need power to interact with button dot. And then we don't need this because it's already there. So then after this delay over here, I don't even need this anymore. So if it's true, it's going to set this to 2, and after that I could even put this over here and just put back the, oh yeah, that's the one I want. So I'm going to do this. So you want there to be a wait before it goes away, or else it's always going to save to that. So what's going to happen here, you're going to do this like that, because you want the message to go back to the interaction key. So you have no power. It's going to wait 2 seconds, and then it's going to bring back the interaction key. So let's test it out, see what it does. And Alt P, I go back to the device, I press E, you need power to interact with button, and goes back to interaction key. And I'm pretty sure I did something over here. I don't think I need this over here, since my program already allows it over here, because after the 2 seconds anyways, something is going to reset the message. So I'm just going to see if I can make this easier. If true, then good for us. We just found an easier way to make this program. So you don't need power to interact with button, and it goes back to the interaction key on its own. So, and if you look away, it goes away. So that's perfect. So now, actually the thing I wanted to add over here is we can add a sound, so that whenever you interact with this, there's a sound that plays. And that's one of the sound we want to get inside the sound in music, the message error over here. So we're gonna, just to make it easy, just select it and go inside your blueprint, and then play sound 2D, and you're just gonna click the little arrow over here, and that's it. You could have went to the scroll over here and go find it, but it's easier this way. And now when I go back, it's gonna go to the console, and there's gonna be a sound feedback. So right, so we're done for this part. Now we're gonna make the activation switch. So we're not gonna make a new blueprint for this. We're just gonna grab the existing one over here and just Alt, make sure you're on the right level over here, and Alt drag a new one up there. And we're just gonna set it to this. So make Make sure to center it. Maybe play with the rotation a little bit. Scale it down. I like that. And then just set it to the center like this. So now this one, we're going to be able to interact with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to add we're going to change the procedure. So the procedure down there was 0, and 0 meant you have no power. So now let's change this one to 1, and now nothing is going to happen because I didn't set it yet. So we're going to go and edit this inside the blueprint. So now we need a procedure 1, and this is where we're going to use the event dispatcher, because we have a lot of changes inside the level that's going to be happening throughout the event that we're going to do now. So instead of doing this huge blueprint with a bunch of static mesh inside, we're just going to cast it to the level blueprint through an event dispatcher. So click over here and make a new event dispatcher. Call it activate switch. Like that. And you're going to drag it, control drag it here, and call. And now it's going to happen. You're just going to grab all this, copy, and control V over here. Set the procedure to 1, and then connect the false over here. And the true is going to call the switch, activate switch. So level, oops, VP, com, there we go. And that's it. That's all you have to do over here. And now, whoop, Control Z, like that. Compile and save. Now that we have this, it's going to fire up to the level blueprint of our current stage. So you're going to have to go inside the level blueprint, and this is where we're going to set up our event. Now if you see over here, we have the one we created in the last episode, but we don't need it anymore. Actually, you can actually delete it. It was just to show people inside my season how to do an event dispatcher. But we're actually applying it now to our current level. So you can delete that. Keep all the bind event things, because we're going to use the same thing for it. You just don't bind it to this like this, and we're not going to do the print string over here. But you can keep everything else. You could even change this to activate switch. Switch. Like that. And now what we're going to do is instead of grabbing the blueprint that we had before, we're going to grab this one over here and create a reference inside our level blueprint. So right click, create reference, and then we're going to bind this new event that we created, activate bind event to activate switch, like that. Bind the event to the square over here, and this is where we're going to build our program. So the first thing is, when you interact with the button, what's going to happen? You're going to activate the switch. Once you activated the switch, what is the first thing that's going to happen is that you won't be able to interact with this anymore. So you need a condition for this. And this is where can interact with is going to come in play. We're going to drag this here, make a branch, and this is supposed to be asked first. Then you're going to need another event sequencer. Connect this to the false, connect this to the true. Now the 0 over here is going to be the same, because you can always retry to interact with something in every game, even though it doesn't work. But now we just need a condition. We just need to set a condition over here to when you cannot interact with something anymore. So we're just going to grab the my character over here, set interaction text to I don't need to interact with this anymore. Dot. Connect this to the 1 over here. And then we're going to leave it for 2 seconds like this, and then it's going to go back to show the message. So we actually don't need anything else. So this here, don't need this anymore. Sorry for the caps locks, but it's not important. So as long as you guys understand what we're doing over here. So that's our program right here. Alright, so I think it's a good time to take a break, and the next episode we're going to be working on the program for the activating switch to activate the switch that's downstairs over here. And after that also we're going to work on the event for the door opening over here. So stay tuned, have a good day.